So my name's O'Hill and I'm a 34-year-old maths teacher and blue belt training out of Pro Jiu-Jitsu in Birmingham, and I'm going to be British champion. So before I can do anything towards becoming British champion, I have to make sure that I'm honest and reflective about my training. So we're going to take an honest look at my training this week and see how I did. So the plan for the week was really simple. We're going to start on Monday doing an S&C session, followed by a run on Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be mobility. Thursday with a no gi, and then Friday gi. Wrapping up the weekend with another strength and conditioning session along with a long run, and then a seminar to close out the week. So I just pulled up at the gym. I'm absolutely shattered. I've had a full day of work. Started my new job today. Then went and did some tutoring. It's about 8 o'clock now, so I'm just going to bang out a quick workout. Right now I'm doing a heavy, medium, light, full body workout. I'm going to see how that works. So this week is basically a test week. Next week's going to be a bit of a deload because I've got a comp on the 14th. And then the week after that, we're going to ramp up back to competition prep. Moving to a different program is going to be really helpful for me because it means that I can start working towards getting back to 82 kilos. I'm currently at 76 kilos. I don't really like the way I look at this weight. I feel kind of light. My natural weight's about 80 kilos. It's quite difficult for me to stay below 80. So what I want to be able to do is go back to 80 kilos and actually be 80 kilos of muscle rather than 80 kilos of fat. So there'll be a short bulking period before my next comp. I actually really like bent over rows. It's probably my second favourite exercise. This is a working set. Build up to the working set. Felt light, felt good. Before anyone in the form police comes at me, I'm training for an athletic, explosive sport, so I do things in an explosive way. Is it ideal? No, but it feels good, so it's... And before anyone sends for me, I can hold this. Working on grip strength, always fun. It's probably my least favourite thing to do. I think that's why it's important that I take the time to do it, because the only way I'm going to get better is by doing things I don't like doing. Gym is great, BJJ is great, but if I don't have that engine to allow me to pretty much fight for a full 6-minute round, I'm never going to win anything. So running is an easy way for me to get that fitness level up and go from there. I'm not running far, I'm not running fast, but I'm running, and that's the main thing. The older I've got, the more I've tried to focus on mobility. I think when you're younger, you kind of recover from things a bit faster, you take some knocks and you can get back to it quicker, but the older I've got, the more I've struggled to kind of recover. And so making sure I have at least one day of mobility where all I do is mobility is important to my recovery and my ability to continue to train throughout the week. So I'm parked up outside the gym right now. It's been a really long day. I'm absolutely shattered. It's Thursday, so it's no-gi day. I'm going to be here for 2 hours. The advanced classes I'm really excited for because Noor put out a post saying that it's going to be sparring. So I'm really excited about that because I think it sets me up really well for my comp in like a week's time. One of the things I really enjoy about jiu-jitsu and helps me a lot is my job is quite draining, especially emotionally. So jiu-jitsu does a lot to help me regulate those emotions. It gives me a place to come and just forget about everything. So I leave it at the door, go in, roll, get sweaty, think about it, have a laugh, and then go home feeling much better. I used to get it from American football, but it's significantly more dangerous in terms of head trauma, and I can't afford to keep getting hit in the head. And jiu-jitsu kind of melds together the ideas of like being really cerebral, like you have to think about things, but also very physically demanding. And you can always learn something, which is what I really enjoy about these classes. I really like these rounds that are hyper competitive, but no one's really focused on winning. It's just about pushing each other. There's a lot of give and take in these rounds, and I really appreciate that from my teammates because we're just there to make each other better. Tomorrow's going to be a gi session that should be a bit lighter, but still same kind of thing. Lots of fighting and basically just having a good old scrap. Not ideal conditions for the gi session today. I forgot my mic, so that's going to be a bit annoying. Taped up my hands, ready to go because we're going to do a lot of gi sparring and I don't want to mess my hands up. let's get in. Let's get this gi sparring out of the way. So I wouldn't really consider myself a gi competitor. I'm more of a gi hobbyist and a no gi competitor. So the gi classes are always fun for me to just try things out and just have fun. I like to go out and just flow with things. So these competition rounds are really helpful because it gives me an idea of what's been working when I've been flowing and what's not working. It's always nice to get some really hard rounds in at the end of the week, especially when you've had a hard week of work. I might end up competing in the gi more, but I haven't made any decisions yet. So we'll see how the gi training goes, and hopefully you'll see me in a gi competition at some point. It's about 5:30 in the morning on Saturday and the training plan has changed. So I've got to go pick my niece up, which means I can't actually do any training today. I think I'm quite fortunate because this life event has come up after 2 days of heavy sparring. So I'm quite glad that I get this little bit of a rest. The mobility is going to be really helpful because I'm starting to feel it in my hips and my back. Playing a lot of guard and trying to do a lot of wrestling does take it out of you in terms of your mid-thoracic and your hips. Sometimes it's important to prioritize your training, and I've made the most of this week, so it's okay for me to spend this Saturday just not training and doing stuff with my family. And it's about trying to find that good balance of training and family time. Although it's not ideal, the main goal isn't to maximize training, it's to optimize training. So I'm training as much as I can, and I've been fortunate this week that I've been able to do 2 heavy sparring sessions. And I think there will be some weeks moving forward between now and December where I actually just won't be able to train because of work, family, and things like that. And it's about optimizing my time around that. So when I do get the opportunity to do heavy sparring sessions, I take them because I don't know if I'm going to get that opportunity again. I didn't want to go to gi sparring yesterday. I was absolutely shattered. I didn't want to go, but I went anyway, and I'm glad that I've gone. And it's actually quite nice. I get this little bit of a rest now because next week is comp week. So just arrived at the seminar. It's going to be a half guard seminar from one of the black belts, Amo. He's really knowledgeable, really good, and so I'm really excited to get some information from him about half guard. The thing I like about half guard and deep half is that it translates gi and no gi. So we're going to be doing this in gi, but it's also important that I can use that knowledge and transfer it to no gi and work on my guard game a little bit more. So that was the week. As usual, life gets in the way and we try to make the most of what we can do. I managed to get some really good sessions in this week, especially with BJJ, and I feel like I'm in a good spot for my competition. Not every week is going to be perfect. This week wasn't. But actually, if I can make the most of what I have, I'll be happy with the results that I get. Ultimately, I am not 20 years old. I can't spend all of my time training. I have to take the wins where I can get them, and life will always come before BJJ. Reflecting on the week as a whole, I can see where the gaps are, and maybe I went a bit too hard in the BJJ sessions, but I think overall I had a good week. I hope this has inspired you to consider your training and be reflecting on it. So next week is comp week, so we pull all the way back with our training, and then the week after that starts a new block preparing for our next competition in September. So we get to remap everything. Thanks for sticking around with the journey. We've got a long way to go. Peace.